The deception of love and sympathy reveals not just the deceiver, but the shadow they attempt to hide. One's laughter is the window to the unconscious. Observe carefully what amuses a person, for there lies their true nature. Life's lessons are not freely given, but purchased with the currency of psychological pain and conscious integration. The calm mind is not one devoid of chaos, but one that has learned to dance with it. Education provides the vocabulary of consciousness, but wisdom teaches us the grammar of silence. Inner peace is not the absence of conflict, but the conscious acceptance of one's own contradictions. Words and actions are but different manifestations of the psyche. When they contradict, the unconscious speaks its truth. Trust is the bridge between conscious and unconscious relationships. Once broken, the psyche guards itself more fiercely. Actions are the language of the unconscious. Words are merely the conscious mind's attempt to explain them. The greatest lesson in individuation is recognizing how much of ourselves remains in shadow. We are not products of circumstance, but of the ongoing dialogue between our conscious decisions and unconscious patterns. Silence and smiles are archetypal tools. Silence connects us to the collective unconscious, while smiles bridge the personal. The path to individuation is often solitary, for the crowd follows collective patterns rather than individual truth. Mastery of patience is mastery of the shadow self. Temporary emotions are messages from the unconscious. Permanent decisions require integration of both conscious and unconscious wisdom. The wise man knows his shadow. The fool projects it onto others. Calmness is the conscious mind's acceptance of unconscious turbulence. Standing alone is often the first step toward individuation. Listening is the conscious mind's gateway to the collective unconscious. Not every unconscious projection requires conscious intervention. Some patterns must play themselves out. Life's brevity compels us to integrate our shadow rather than deny it. Trust, like the process of individuation, once broken must be rebuilt through conscious effort. Self-perception is the dialogue between ego and self. The diamond's formation under pressure mirrors the psyche's growth through crisis. Every experience is an encounter with one's own unconscious patterns. Happiness of others cannot be sacrificed to compensate for one's own unintegrated shadow. The wise psyche knows when to ignore external chaos to maintain internal order. Expensive clothes often mask a poverty of individuation. Cheap clothes may hide a wealth of self-realization. Fear-based respect is the shadow of true authority. The eyes see what the psyche is prepared to integrate. Manners are the conscious expression of unconscious development. Truth-speaking begins with confronting one's own shadow. Beautiful souls are forged in the crucible of shadow integration. All humans share the same collective unconscious, only their conscious patterns differ. Understanding requires stepping into another's psychological space. Those ahead on the path of individuation often forget their own beginning struggles. Love, like the self, falls equally on the evolved and unevolved aspects of psyche. Depression emerges when we deny our authentic self to please the collective. Pain is the psyche's call to growth. Suffering is resistance to that call. Solitude is the workshop of individuation. The past cannot be undone, but consciousness can redeem it. Negative people are often carrying projected aspects of our own unintegrated shadow. Growth occurs at the edges of psychological comfort. Today's struggles are tomorrow's integrated strengths. Intelligence without psychological awareness is mere information. Thoughts create reality through the bridge of the unconscious. Silence is sometimes the highest form of psychological integration. Character assessment lies in observing how one treats those who trigger their shadow. Success and failure are both teachers of the psyche. Inner joy emerges from successful individuation. Freedom lies in acknowledging our psychological complexes. Happiness flows from the integration of shadow and light. The honest psyche knows both its light and shadow aspects. Patience is the conscious mind's acceptance of unconscious timing. Ambition and revenge are compensations for feelings of inferiority. True teaching awakens the inner knowledge already present in the collective unconscious. Knowledge of one's ignorance is the beginning of wisdom. Devotion to individuation requires confronting both shadow and light. The unconscious speaks through symbols, the conscious mind through logic. In the depths of the psyche lie both our greatest fears and our greatest potential.